indeed, people. Yes, let's start all over again. I've just had to reset my computer and do all sorts of shenanigans to it. So let's just jump straight into it. Welcome to Satoshi's Bitcoin Chart Show. This is the Bitcoin forecast, the strength of the system, the health of the network, where we find out what's up with what is going down. So let's just jump straight into it. Here we go, rock and roll. So starting from left to right, we've got Corecoin, we've got Bcrash, we've got Bitcoin, which is the original protocol, which makes it the real Bitcoin, the true Bitcoin, the genuine Bitcoin. And then we've got Amory's Elementary Fisher Price Cash on the end there. What a joke that is. So starting with Corecoin, we're just going to allow Peter McCormack to explain exactly why we call it Corecoin. Take the floor, Peter McCormack.
Bitcoin is so different now from when Satoshi was here.
Yep, just like I was explaining. That's why we don't call it Bitcoin, because it's nothing like it.
It's a completely different project.
Yeah, because the chain of signatures has been segregated on the 24th of August 2017, which brought it under the centralized control of Blockstream, which crashed its fundamental value to zero because it transferred from being a commodity to a security with no fundamental value.
It doesn't matter who Satoshi is anymore.
Not with Corecoin it doesn't, because it's got nothing to do with Bitcoin.
Even if Satoshi came back, I don't think he would just be immediately welcomed as having this God-given right to decide what happens with Bitcoin. I think he would have to earn his right back into the project,
which you would never want to do because it's a complete waste of time, because it's fundamentally worthless.
Bitcoin is built based on consensus now.
Are you sure about that, Pete? Because it didn't sound like it to me. Let's have that one more time.
Project Bitcoin is built based on consensus now.
What, like it wasn't before? Did you even read the white paper? Jeepers. Now let's have a listen to Tony Vays, also sounding extremely confused about the implications of SegWit.
Why do you think BTC is valuable?
It's valuable because it's the only unconfiscatable asset we have, and that is because that comes from its decentralization. I think Bitcoin is the only valuable crypto asset we have because of the nature of how it started in its first few years.
And when you say Bitcoin, you mean BTC, right?
Absolutely.
But are you aware that in 2017, they changed the rules so that BTC no longer follows the Bitcoin white paper?
That is not true at all.
The white paper says that there needs to be a chain of signatures.
Sure.
Okay, so that's not what we have anymore. That's how SegWit changed that.
Okay, but it's still Bitcoin.
What a joke. It's nothing like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a commodity. Bitcoin is cash. Cash is the most liquid form of money. Money has to be a commodity. The moment it becomes centralized, you crash its fundamental value to zero, which is what Tone Vays just doesn't understand. All they understand is following the ticker symbol. It's absolutely insane. So now let's have Roger Ver and his fork of this alternative version of Bitcoin, which is nothing like Bitcoin. What's your plans for that, Roger?
And we're going to really spread Bitcoin Crash across the entire country here in Antigua.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Bitcoin Crash, absolutely. And what do you say to all those multinational companies who say they need a regulatory compliant monetary system in order to conduct billions, if not trillions of dollars of global trade on an annual basis?
The ones that say that the blockchains all need to be legally compliant about everything all the time, just go use your Visa card.
Yeah, well, that's going to work, you absolute buffoon. Jeepers. Right, so let's get on to Bitcoin here. So we'll have a quick word with the creator, Craigoshi Nakamoto himself. So Craig, can you tell us your motivation for creating such a phenomenal system, and what are your expectations of Bitcoin in terms of its price that's going to reflect its value, which is also a reflection of its usefulness, which is its utility. What is it you're wanting from it?
I want Bitcoin not to go up to 10,000 or 100,000. I want it to be worth millions per Bitcoin.
Sounds good to me, mate. I mean, when you strip it down to the bare bones, is that it?
That's it. And that's what we spend money for. Very simple.
Amazing. Well, let me help out and I shall stick my foot in and help it along. So we've currently got hash rate 0.5%, network nodes 1.5, transactions 57% of the overall transactions on the network, and block size almost 70%, 69.4. Amazing. So let's have a quick word with Michael Saylor so he can tell us what we should be looking for when we're looking at Bitcoin. So take the floor, Michael Saylor. So can you tell us, what is it we want from Bitcoin?
Big blocks.
Yeah? What size?
$100 million chunks.
Nice. Whereabouts?
On the blockchain.
I thought so. Let's have a look at these blocks. And so Bitcoin has got 10, 12, 30, 12, 12, 1, 1, 2, 2, 4, 8, 1, 7, and 7. All megabyte blocks are amazing. Anne-Marie struggling to get all his blocks over a kilobyte. Nowhere near a megabyte. And Bcrash 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks over a megabyte. What a joke. And do Corecoin have all their puny 1 megabyte blocks filled? Yes, they do. What a joke that is. Alright, hash rate. Hash rate follows price, follows value, follows utility, follows creativity, initiative, and intelligence. If you are intelligent and you apply creativity and initiative, you can make something useful. When something is useful, it can then create value. When it creates value, it can then develop a price. When it develops a price, it can then be measured against the cost of other goods and services and used as a medium of exchange. Love it. Boom. Proof of work by network, Corecoin, Bcrash, Elementary Cash, Fisher Price Cash will fall into their own footprints, just like Ponzi schemes do when they crash overnight, because that's what they are. Bcrash Bitcoin hash rate, who cares? Bcrash Bitcoin proof of work, who cares? It is currently 17,300 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Corecoin, and it's cheaper than any of these alternative protocols on the Bitcoin network, which are an absolute scam. Yes, indeed they are. It's 8.8% more profitable to mine on Corecoin. Shows you the competition for Bitcoin. Yes, indeed. So daily average Bitcoin block size by network. Let's have a look at this proportionally. Look at this, absolutely macking it. Loving that, loving that. Let's get back to CoinDance, here we go. And daily Bitcoin transactions by network, Bitcoin winning, transactions per block, Bitcoin winning. Fees, this is fees in the block due to the volume of transactions. Fees Satoshis in the block. This is the ratio of fees to block reward. Again, we'll monitor this with time because we're expecting huge increases in price and volume of transactions. Daily accumulated Bitcoin blockchain growth by network. Let's have a look at this. Here we go. Bring this along a little bit. There we go. So we are currently 401 gigabyte, 401.7 gigabytes on chain. Amazing. So Craig, can you tell us what can we expect from this in the future?
We've tested up to 380 gigabyte blocks.
Massive.
We've tested 1 million transactions a second.
Mega.
And transaction sizes up to 20 megabytes.
Amazing. And the rest of it?
We can scale each of those transactions 1,000 times, which effectively means about 1 billion transactions per second, which means we can then have all derivatives, all complex trades. That means high frequency trading. It means everything that happens globally.
Everything that happens globally. It is the world's first ever commercial internet backed by the value of Bitcoin. Bitcoin being the commodity that economically sustains this global internet, this commercial internet. It's amazing. I'm very much looking forward to that. Let's have a look at the actual blockchain. Look at that, 45 gigabytes in front. That's 12.5% of the overall Corecoin chain. That is absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal stuff. Alright, and let's have a look at the hash rate. That's hash rate 7 days, is where the politics is. Hash rate 24 hours, should be similar to Corecoin, yeah. And a Bcrash, oh look at that, and Paul, look at that, they've got a 60% of the hash rate on there. Remember that protocol, that chain is fundamentally worthless, and it's still 0.7% more profitable to mine on it, which means they're going to be adding even more hash rate to it. That's hilarious, hilarious. And this is Bitcoin, the only protocol with any fundamental value. Hathor with 6.25, via BTC 5.5. SV Pool, good to see them on there increasing their share, 4.1. F2 Pool gesturing, mining Dutch on there. All right, come on CoinDance, let's sort it out. Here we go. Here we go. This is Bitcoin, yeah. So good to see the shitcoin is being squeezed, and Elementary Cash, good grief, completely dominated. So the reason we want these shitcoiners off the chain is because the only thing they understand is price manipulation, which is what they've been doing to Bitcoin. Let's have a look at the short positions. So we're starting here at 89 and finishing here on 92. What a joke that is, absolutely hilarious. Let's have a look at Corecoin quickly. There we go, and we're starting off at 13%. So that was previously from a short position price manipulation that went on, but we're at 4.3, whereas it's usually around 2%. So ooh, people losing faith in that big dog. Should I say big pile of garbage? So let's have a look at the blockchain working live in front of our eyes. The vertical rectangular blocks are the transactions being recognized by the mining nodes on the network. The transactions are recognized instantly the moment they're broadcast to the network. Because the network is an ultra small world Mandela network shaped like this, it basically means that as the size of the network increases, the density of the links goes to zero, making it ultra small world and highly sparse respectively. The network formulation can lead to an improved topology against malicious attacks. It is sustainable. It's a phenomenal network. So once the transactions are recognized by the nodes on the network, they're thrown into the memory pool, which is where they're competed for by miners and payment processors in order to create a block, put the transaction within a block, and then place the block on the blockchain, which is when they're rewarded with the Coinbase data, otherwise known as the block reward, otherwise known as freshly minted Bitcoin. So as we can see down here, there is a 30 megabyte block, and in the highlighted rectangular blocks below that, we've got the hash of the block height, who it was mined by, size, the time, the date, the transaction count, and the total fees, equaling $67.50. Let's just have a quick look at charts here, see if there's any movers and shakers. Always worth checking. Alrighty. Okay, now we're going to let Laura Shin explain the significance of fees and block rewards. Take the floor, Laura Shin.
So, as you mentioned, at a certain point when the block reward stops, there will be a transition where miners will be compensated in transaction fees, not in the block reward. And the current amount that they earn is from fees is about 9% of the block reward. And so we'd have to see transaction fees 11x by roughly 2140, which is when the new Bitcoins will stop being minted. But I just wondered, if we don't see an increase in the amount of transactions that can happen at layer one, because the number of layer one transactions is limited. And right now, I feel like a lot of the scaling is focusing on layer two. Can transaction fees 11x in that time, or will that require people to pay a lot more per transaction?
Over the next couple halving cycles, we should see it start to predominantly be the value that is compensated to the miners in the block reward. If Bitcoin is the world reserve currency that doesn't have a strong security model, like there's not a lot of monetary compensation in the block reward due to transaction fees, well, then its long-term security will be weak. If it is the world reserve currency, there will be very, very many layer one transaction fees.
Okay, yeah. So it sounds like you think it is possible that the amount in transaction fees will maybe not be enough on layer one to replace the block reward when the time comes.
Absolutely, there won't be enough transactions to replace the block reward when the time comes, because it's been purposely restricted to 1 megabyte, which only allows for 4.6 transactions per second, 7 if all the stars align. Do you honestly think that 7 transactions a second was meant to economically sustain all of this lot? What an absolute joke that is. Honestly, I just can't believe that people actually believe all that toff. Let's have a look at BitInfo charts. Bitcoin with 12.3% of the overall transactions on the entire CMC. But as we know, the XRP and Ethereum are fundamentally worthless. And we're just going to have a listen to David Schwartz, the Chief Technical Officer at Ripple Labs, explaining that XRP is fundamentally worthless.
The XRP is a digital asset. It's censorship resistant. It's publicly traded. It trades on the XRP ledger. Ripple does not own or control the XRP ledger in any way.
So how did Ripple then get all the XRP that it has? It has about half the supply. So just how did that particular transaction happen?
So the way its design works is when the ledger first began operation, the 100 billion XRP, all that will ever exist, were sort of up for grabs. And lots of people grabbed XRP out of that system. But it just so happens that obviously, just like early miners mined huge amounts of Bitcoin before the public knew about it or was using it, early XRP users grabbed large amounts of that pool of XRP. And so the people who developed the ledger wound up with the vast majority of it.
Brilliant. One more time, David.
The people who developed the ledger wound up with the vast majority of it.
Remind me to look up the economic theory of being up for grabs. What a joke that is. And Ethereum, knowing that they couldn't scale before they even released it.
It scales somewhat.
It hardly scales at all.
Plans or initial we knew it wasn't going to be scalable for sure.
More like. BitInfo charts, here we go. Let's have a look at transactions 24 hours. 3 years on the log curve. Can you spot Bitcoin in the purple? Amazing. Amazing, yep. So November 15th was when the protocol finally slipped out from underneath the fingers of those nefarious entities that wanted to prevent it from working and become an illegal monetary system, which means it would never work anyway, or unregulated one. Absolutely crazy. Scaling test network, checking the figures here. Yeah, all right. Although scaling test network is now outdated, as we now have Terranode, which Steve Shadders will explain.
We have run this across all 10 nodes, and I have actually seen volumes in excess of 100,000 per second. I wasn't quite brave enough to try that one today, live on stage. But there we have a real-life example of a Terranode that is able to scale. If I had more time, I would show you one that's actually running at a steady-state capacity and show that it actually can continue for a long period of time without any problems.
Amazing.
For reference, we don't think that the Bitcoin SV software would be able to handle a validation rate like that at this point in time.
Amazing. And the timeline?
By the end of this month, we're hoping to actually have alpha versions of Terranode listening on the mainnet. They won't be trying to produce blocks. They'll just be listening and processing peer-to-peer messages. We'll also build, we have built scale testnets, global scale testnets for the Terranode specifically. We can't do this on the scaling testnet because we'll crush it.
Amazing.
Because we have proven that Terranode can scale, we've proven what Satoshi always said about Bitcoin. Bitcoin can and does scale. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve Morlike. Fantastic. Trends.cash, look at this. So TDX Pip still macking it. Then RelayX, Money Button, RelayX, yeah, other applications coming online. Run SV, Crypto Fights. Again, we're going to find out what all these are in the future. Very much looking forward to all of that. And Crypto Quant, look at this. Yep, the exchanges reserves, they have been cashing out their reserves, which has caused a squeeze in the liquidity and a spike in the price due to all the tether printing. It's a massive bubble. Oh dear. What's on chain? What is on chain? Good question. Estimated next block size 5.6 megabytes. Memory pool usage 13.7 megabytes. Look at all these transactions coming in. Juicy. And Johu's memory pool. So this is what a memory pool is meant to look like. When data comes in, then it gets cleared. Data comes in, then it gets cleared. Data comes in, then it gets cleared. What it's not meant to look like is a swimming pool, which is probably what BTC... Oh, look at that. Looks horrendous. That looks absolutely horrendous. This is what happens when you prevent something from scaling and working how it's supposed to. You come out with ridiculous patterns like this, and we can see what the effect that it's happened. We can see the effects that it's had on the system when we look at TX Street. So let's have a listen to Adam Back, the CEO of Blockstream, and his expectations of a payment network.
So, fee estimation in some cases is quite bad. If you're paying a friend, you can probably afford to wait 4 hours and not pay a priority fee.
Oh, shut up. Whatever, mate. And the median fee, $1.87. So, $1.84. Remember to add that to your cup of coffee if ever you try to pay for one. But it's going to take you 4 hours to pay for it anyway. And Vitalik, so we've got a median fee is $1.49. What do you say to that?
The Internet of Money should not cost 5 cents a transaction. It's kind of absurd.
Really? So what do you call $1.49? Care to explain yourself? Nah, I didn't think so. And look at our own sort of predicament that we're in. Look at all this excessive money printing. What do we know about excessive money fiat printing?
Statistical analysis has found that every time an empire begins to near its own demise, you'll find that its currency will be debased.
Yes, indeed. It's not looking good at all. So knowing that Bitcoin is the only thing that can save us, how are we feeling about it, CoinGecko? Feeling good. 85%. 85%. Come on. Wasn't expecting that. Was not expecting that. Beautiful. Beautiful. People waking up to this. Come on, let's have it. That's great. That's brilliant, that is. Oh, chuffed to bits. Alright, and Bitping, money flow per hour, 72 cents. Yeah, alright, so remember this is the Bitcoin network monitoring all the other networks because Bitcoin is the only network that stays up 24/7, which means it can monitor all the downtime of these alternative networks. It's amazing. The morning run, so let's have a look at purchases of genuine Bitcoin. So 371,081 purchases of genuine Bitcoin over 24 hours. All right, but the rest of these coins, stay away from this, people. Move fast and break stuff does not mean breaking the law. These are all illegal security offerings. It's not looking good at all. Dear, oh dear. Let's have a look at the depth chart then on Bitcoin. Here we go. So 5.5 million asks versus 5.6 million bids. Total, the price being $145. Let's have a look at Bitcoin versus USD. Oh, upsy downsies. All right, imagine picking up Bitcoin for $145. Coolcoin versus USD. Let's see what that's doing. Thank you very much. There we go. So, sort of like laddering up, but people have no idea that there is no fundamental value in that whatsoever. When they find out, the entire network will collapse because miners will come over. They'll be dumping their bags, desperate to get hold of Bitcoin, which means miners just simply won't economically sustain the network. Dear, oh dear. And let's have a look at Bitcoin versus Coolcoin. You know, battle royale going on here, ladies and gentlemen. You know, yes indeed, yes indeed. Let's have a look at the entire coin market. Coolcoin up 2.6. Who cares? It's fundamentally worthless. And Bitcoin up 0.9. That's all right, but I mean, look at all this. So we know that only $2.7 billion of a $1.5 trillion market cap is genuine. The rest of it is worth absolutely nothing. Shocking when you think about it, but we know what's coming. YouTube, 587 subscribers, 29 in the last 28 days. Good stuff. Let's have a look at my videos, just see what's doing, see who's doing what. Patrick Thompson in 2 days. Previous videos, 105 for the last chart, yesterday's chart show. That's all right. Numbers going up, loving that. And let's have a look at Streamanity. Yay! $1.60 for yesterday's video, $1.60 for the day before. And yep, made over $1 for all the others. Thank you very much. Loving that. And Twitch, so 106. Try making that so far on Twitter. Never going to happen. And let's have a look at Acorn Stacks just to find out how many new users there were of Twitch over the last 24 hours while I keep on talking and these figures come up. There we go. So we're looking at Acorn Stacks. New users 24 hours. 27. Better than nothing. Better than nothing. And Twitter, Ruth Easma's tweet. 964. Liking that. And Arman Satoshi, how's he doing? 80,000. 97,600. Still pretty good. And stablecoin printer. Any Tether being printed? Oh, Binance USD, True USD, Binance USD. No Tether being printed since the 1st of June. Wow. All right, watch your space. Right, 24 minutes. We're up to date with the figures. Hope you enjoyed the show. Catch you guys later. Get paid for posting your pics on Relica. Download the app now at www.getrelica.com. Get your tweet etched on Twitch. Forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. Do it today at www.jointwitch.com. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. Support independent content creators on micropayment platforms such as Streamanity, Twitch and Relica. We should profit from our data, not the large corporations who track, monitor and sell it. If you enjoy the Bitcoin content that I produce, please support me by heading over to www.satoshi.tv, where you can keep up to date with all the latest news, gossip and content as it's created. Thanks very much. To get started in Bitcoin, go to freebsv.com, where you can claim your free Bitcoin. Then head over to Twitter and follow @IamSatoshi, where you can take part in his very generous and world famous free giveaways. The future of advertising meets the power of Bitcoin at TonicPow. Get paid for posting advertising campaigns to your social media profiles. Go to www.tonicpowads.com.